everybody? We are back. Welcome to another episode of More Than a Title. I'm your host, Jarrett Thomas, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And I got my boy with me, my co-host, my brother, my brethren, my cousin, your favorite CEO's favorite CEO, Chadeo, the CEO. What's good, baby?
What's going on, baby? We in the building. Despite technical difficulties.
He's ready. We gotta get the energy. I gotta get my guy right. I gotta get the energy.
Hey, I'm ready. You know what? Let's start off with the motto. You already know if it ain't bright, it just ain't right. Black is so boring. It's the summertime and you guys got on black shirts. I just don't understand it.
I got my paid in full shirt. I got my paid in full. I'm feeling like Ace right now. Let's get it, y'all. But before we kick this off, man, we got an amazing guest today, and let's just take care of set the table. First off, shout out to all of our followers and our listeners and supporters. We're glowing and glowing every week because of you guys. So thank you for the comments, the downloads, subscriptions. We appreciate the merchandise, all of that, man. We out here doing it. Y'all give us a lot of wind beneath our wings to keep going and keep the shit pushing. We really appreciate y'all. And shout out to our distribution partners, the Live Podcast Network. If you want to hear more exclusive content and from black creators such as More Than a Title, you go there, you download the app, support your black content creators. And now let's get into it. Exclusively, baby. But this one, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do this, man. Yeah. But I'm going to introduce this brother and it's going to be a long one. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Because this brother is real.
He already knew it was coming.
I said pause. But this brother currently lives in the Bay Area. He's the global head of social media for Logitech and formerly led social efforts at Google. Prior to Google, this brother led social media efforts at THX Limited, founded by George Lucas, where he built a social presence from the ground up and worked on social media campaigns for Creed, A Star Is Born, Jurassic World, Uncle Drew, and Aladdin. His social media campaigns have driven brand awareness efforts for General Motors, the NBA, Pepsi, Dallas Cowboys, Spotify, AT&T, and several other Fortune 500 companies. This brother's also been recognized by local and national PR marketing and advertising outlets, including Say Aron, which is founded by Solange Knowles, BET, CNN, American Advertising Foundation, Huffington Post, Ad Age, Blavity, Ad Week.
That boy name dropping.
That boy going crazy. He's going
crazy. That boy name dropping.
That boy going crazy. He's one of them ones.
Crazy.
He's one of them ones, man. He's also published 3 books, teaches social media at the Miami Ad School, and also has a great show that he hosts, his podcast, A Dose of Black, Joy and Caffeine, which is in its 6th season, over 100 episodes. And recently, you can find him on it with Jane Lynch on The Weakest Link, an NBC game show where he was recently a contestant on. So shout out to my brother, Adu.
He doesn't sleep.
Thank you.
He doesn't sleep.
Woo, Adu, baby, what it is.
I know.
Jesus.
That's
what
it's like. Thank you so much.
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna let that go.
Hold on. Let's say something. Doing all that. That's why I know I wear my glasses, but you got bags under your eyes because with all those accolades, there's no way you getting more than 3 hours sleep a night. I'm calling a spade, bro. You're not doing all that in 8 hours, bro. I know I wear my glasses. I know why you wear your glasses.
Listen, I think like it's just, I don't know, it's just like overtime. I like to get it done, especially when it's easy. And then I have fun, that's the thing. Yeah. But no, I'm definitely getting 8 hours of sleep. Trust me. Yeah, I'm still sleeping.
8 hours.
8 hours of sleep. Absolutely. That's 100% the thing to do.
So I'll tell you what, we're going to listen on the back channel. Everybody, just so y'all know, you might not get it here, but on the back channel, we're going to get that secret sauce of how to achieve what he achieved and still get 8 hours of sleep. Better believe we're going to ask him. If we can't get to it today, we getting it on the back channel. We're going to let y'all know. Because that's crazy.
But brother, let's start it off, man. Like yo,
start at the top.
Tell us your background, brother. How did you get in the industry? Also, what's your nationality too, brother? I'm curious.
Yes, blackity black, but no, my dad is from Ghana. So I would say that a lot of that that energy is that growing up, my dad used to always kind of say, you don't have the business, you need book bag, pen, paper. So I just always kind of came from that mentality of like getting things done. Also, too, before I dive too much into my story, I want to send flowers back to you all because this is a great show. I just want to let you all know that. I mean, especially what you know about me. See, what you know about
it's catchy. It is catchy.
Appreciate you, bro.
Exciting. That's why I was through the intro because I'm like, this is hot. So congratulations to you all. But
Wait, before you continue, bro, let me just give you flowers. Why is this important for me, bro? I'm gonna keep it real with you. I started my journey 3 years ago on LinkedIn. Everybody who's following knows the story, bro. And I started because I didn't see too many of us. I didn't know there was another one of us. My whole purpose was to speak to the 21-year-old version of me because I didn't have that mentor. And I want to let you know, bro, just reading your accolades and what you've done, you've climbed the corporate ladder and you've done it impeccably. You know what I'm saying? You've done your thing, bro. And it's very hard for brothers like you and I to do so. So I want to give you your flowers for being inspiring and motivating. I know somebody's going to hear this and be like, I can do it. And that's what this shit is all about, man.
I appreciate that, man.
You know, I know it sounds, you know, some of our guests, you know, they get uncomfortable with hearing it, especially when they have a lot of accolades. It almost seems like we're bolstering about you, but we are. We need it, but we are. Yeah, because the conversation needs to be had. Long story short, like he said, you don't understand the impact that you're having on future generations. Bottom line, you might never meet the person that you will inspire. You might not never meet the person that you can change his family's life by changing his life, and then he'll change lineage. And you might not never meet them, but just know, just because you never met them doesn't mean that your inspiration hasn't carried to them.
That's
it,
that,
bro.
That's that. With that said, let's take them to class, baby. Let's take them to school now. Let's take them
to
school, baby.
First period, baby. First period. So you're from Ghana, right? Yeah. You're from Ghana. And you said that your father already instilled in you right off the bat a strong work ethic.
Oh yeah,
a very strong work ethic, right? So coming up, before we get into like the older years, like coming up, what were some of the things that he used to have you do to kind of prepare you to just get in the mood of just working and scheduling and things of that nature?
Well, I mean, let's talk about that, right? Because like I said, that's where I got a lot of that from my dad, but also at the same time, he was not necessarily in my life for a certain period of time. So a lot of the way that I even function is based off of being the older brother. Like, I mean, there's 4 of us, 4 siblings, but you know, to that extent, I'm an older brother. So I have an older brother mentality. And I think how I work, how I approach people, sometimes too much, because even in the workplace, so often some people will be like, okay, yeah, it's feeling like an older brother type of thing. And I'm like, that's what I'm used to being. And then I think what also comes from that is being the head of the household naturally, right? So where it's like, if my mom is a single parent, I didn't even realize that I was taking on that role naturally in what I was doing. So it never felt like a burden in that sense of like what I was doing, but it really allowed me to be able to grow up a little bit faster. And also from a leadership standpoint, start working at a very, very early age. So I've been working since I was like 13 years old. That sounds horrible. And it also sounds very illegal.
What was that for?
Time out. So technically, go ahead.
Hold on, let me say that too. As 3 black men on this podcast, okay? Because I don't know where nobody's mind's going, but it was at a grocery store. Okay, so let me say that. You know, I wasn't.
I wasn't going crazy. I was just gonna say that's not too bad because by United States standards, you can get working papers at 14. So you working at 13 is, you know, in another country or something is not too far off than our standards.
You know, there we go. But I realized like I wanted a job really, really early on in my youth, because I realized that was a way for me to just like learn, grow, is a way for me to make money. And I would say like in terms of career growth, it really started just hopping from supermarket to supermarket, you know, then hopping from fast food chain to fast food chain. And then also eventually in doing that from, you know, middle school to high school to where like, you know, I think, you know, that just kind of led into my career and what I'm doing. So I know that's a long story, but I say that my dad, you know, my dad had that business side, but then also my mom had the very creative side. And that's what I kind of got from her, you know, so I like to think I'm a mix of, you know, both of them.
That's dope, bro.
I can relate to that too.
Yeah, because people don't talk. We don't talk about how those early jobs prepare us for our career later in life. You know what I'm saying? Like I worked at Hallmark at 13, bro. I was like the only brother in Scanlon going straight from school. I'm sitting there checking bags, but I got them J's though. You know what I'm
saying? So a little bit of insight also, right? The reason I said that is because a lot of us urban kids, right? From when we started to make money, we worked at supermarkets. We called it packing bags. Right? We would go to the end of the register, and as the food come down, we would pack the bags for you. Yep.
And the kids these days do not know how to pack a bag.
I'm trying to tell you.
the other day. I'm like, I don't want my detergent with my ice cream and my bread.
Right.
I had detergent smelling like bread smelling like ice cream tasting like detergent. I'm like, but those early skills are so important, man.
Yeah,
so important.
I'm telling you, listen, we didn't make a lot of money. We would pack the bags, and then the real money was the delivery, right? Do you need help taking your groceries home, right? So, a lot of people didn't have cars. We would push the shopping cart and walk it up the steps for you like that. And, we would work all day. And for us, like you said, 13, 14 years old, making $80, $100 a day, that's good money for a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
That's good money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I was a different type of, 14-year-old because, to that standpoint, now looking back on it, there's definitely a lot of growth. I was very, very young, but we understand bias. But, I also understand time and efficiency, right? And I think I understood it at a very early age because I would look at cars to really understand, this is going to sound really bad, but who I was going to be able to help to their car to get the tip that I needed.
That's real.
It was so crucial, but it was also efficient because I needed to not only make that, $5.15 an hour working at Kroger's in ATL, but I also needed that money. Now, let me tell you something, though, about how I got the job at 14 in ATL was actually by being racially profiled at the same time. So I went in there for a job interview, but what they didn't even realize is that I kind of got the job interview based off of also putting them in their place, because when I was in there, I was in the magazine section and I was reading a magazine at 14 years old. And then the guy said, "Hey, can you pull up your pants? Can you pull up your pants a little bit?" So I didn't think what was happening. I mean, naturally I sagged. It wasn't because it was a style. I legitimately didn't have a belt. That's why I hate sagging culture. And when people talk about it, because sometimes it's like, maybe that brother can't afford a belt. Did you ever think about that? You know what I mean? But at the standpoint, they say, oh no, we just thought you had a magazine in here. And I said, no, I'm actually in here for a job interview because I want to get hired. So went back, told, my mom, basically almost flipped the store on its head, as you can imagine, after profiling me. Yeah. But all in all, I told them, I said, I told them about myself, what I did, and then they ended up hiring me at 14.
Dope.
That's a crazy. That's a real story, bro. And you know what? Let's get to the shits, because as you said that, bro, it made me think about how you've also had to prepare yourself going into the corporate world, how you have to dealt with yourself in marketing and advertising, and there's only been so many of us, right? So what does playing the game mean to you, bro? And how have you been able to achieve what you have? Like, how did you prepare yourself for that?
Well, that's the thing. There are no games to be played. I'm not playing any games with anyone. I'm going to call things like it is. Like, I think that a part of working and doing things that we have to do, especially as Black executives and also professionals, it's too much for me to think about doing the best job that I can at work and also playing this game. And I think that sometimes we get into you're absolutely right. That legitimately is a thing. And maybe I was there at some point of my career, like very, very early on. But what I realized is that it's too strenuous to really do both. But if you do a good job, you're able to excel, you focus on your work, great creative ideas, and a good personality is undeniable. Like, message. You cannot get past that no matter what's happening. And so when you focus on that, you're just in a better space. I also started this thing too, to where, in terms of like playing the game, when I did realize people were playing games, or like, there was that game mentality, if I was to put my head down on my pillow at 9-10 p.m., which I try to go to sleep, if I'm still thinking about you in a standpoint to where I feel like you are playing with me, or that there are different things that we haven't talked about, at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., you're probably going to get a calendar invite for us to talk that next day, because I don't lose sleep over anyone. I'm not losing sleep over games, because there's just too much to think about and too much to do. So in terms of playing the game, my advice would be just to invest in yourself. But there's no games to be played.
I love that answer, bro. Because you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real. I love that answer, but I do want to acknowledge that there is one. You know what I'm saying? The way you've been able to do
Jarrett, I don't know. I
have to go with you, bro.
Jarrett, I think that it's ones that people are creating. Because why would you to create a game for the sake of it, just to invest into playing this game that doesn't stop and like playing into like the politics. And I realize that all of that exists, but I think that if you're asking me what has worked for me, it has truly been investing 100% into like what I'm doing. You know, I think that when you stay in your own lane, there's something very strong to that. Think about how much you have to navigate to actually cross lanes when you're driving. You're looking to the front, you're looking to the back, you're making sure that you're not hitting no cars. But if you have found a comfortable lane for yourself that you're still excelling, no matter if that other person is going into the next lane, you're still going to end up at the same destination. So I'm saying all this to say, like, focus on yourself, stay, you know, in your own lane. But when you start playing too many games, for me, it's just been a little overwhelming.
Message. I guess another one.
Yeah, I think what Jarrett was more so alluding to is obviously you start out a worker. There's always a ladder. There's always a ladder, right? Even if you're silver spoon and you can start with a head start with a couple rungs up the ladder, there's still always a ladder. And I think what Jarrett was alluding to is not the game that you would play yourself, but the game that your superiors would play. Because you can control your lane, right? But your superiors and the people that are over you that are designing how you move and telling you what to do, it's their interactions with you. It's the way that they feel about you and the things that they have you do. For example, right? I can tell Jarrett, do A, and he can do A very directly, right? But if I know that I don't really like Jarrett, right? Or I think Jarrett's a threat to me because he works so well, right? Instead of telling him to do A, I'm going to tell him to do B because I'm hoping that he messes up. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to give him a clear line of direction. And I think that's what he's talking about.
And when you're smart enough to know, that the road is A, that doesn't play well with the
it doesn't play well.
I just want to acknowledge that there is politics. So I'm not saying that you played the politics. I love your answer. You know what I'm saying? I spoke to Walt Gear about this. We've had conversations with a lot of Black professionals about this.
Absolutely.
So you know that it is. But the way you've been able to navigate it, and I love the way you said it, I'm betting on myself, bro. But sometimes as us, even if we do that, there's some obstacles that we still have to overcome that the average person wouldn't have to face. I just want to acknowledge that. That's all.
Before you answer, what's your zodiac sign?
Oh, I don't even get into those. I'm God.
No, I'm just saying, but I just want to know.
Christ.
You know what I'm just saying?
I couldn't even tell you if I wanted to. I'm Black.
Let me tell you. No, but I understand. But let me tell you why. Right? You know, betting on yourself starts with actually knowing yourself. Right.
Absolutely,
and just from meeting you now on the show, I can say like you have great energy and you have a great personality. Right. But let me tell you, right, that's because you're very comfortable with who you are, And the more you know yourself, the more you know your triggers and the things that will set you off, the easier you can see something coming and navigate away from it. You know what I'm saying? You can see it coming, but like, I know what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked you that. You know what I mean? That's why I asked you that, because, you know, betting on yourself is dope, but, you know, knowing yourself and really understanding your strengths and your weaknesses helps to propel you forward.
And also, bro, that's our motto for our company, Outside the Box. Bet on yourself. So when you said that,
bet on yourself.
That's why I love that answer, bro. Like, we've got that's exactly what it says on our more than the title. It says bet on yourself, bro. So I love that you did that, bro. But tell us, for those listening, bro, like, how did you enter this space? What was that first opportunity? Was it at Google, or what was the first opportunity that you did get? And how did you, first of all, before we even get to the jobs, why marketing and advertising?
Yeah. I mean, that's good, because I was going to say, like, actually, first opportunity, shout out to the clubs in Atlanta. I mean, that's where it started. Like, we're talking about, like, you know, 2000s. And I mean, that was my first opportunity of understanding marketing, also understanding creative direction. So what I used to do is I used to actually create club flyers, so much that I started taking that not only from high school, but then I was doing club flyers, as you can imagine, once I attended college. I went to Alabama A&M University, so shout out to all the HBCUs.
Alabama.
Bama boy.
Bama boy.
Shout out to everybody in Alabama.
Everyone, man. And so, you know, actually, and also to side note, so yes, I do host a podcast, but we did have Ruben Studdard on there. So, you know, shout out to Ruben as well. But I started designing, you know, club flyers. But if anything, I loved just how much people you know, were intrigued by it or like what I was doing. And then I started understanding the culture of, you know, and at this time, this is like pre, you know, negative sentiment, but this was like, you wanted like the Stacey Dash and the Takaras of the world, or like the Melissa Ford. So I'm like, okay, let me now go on Google and actually start Googling, okay, which model's hot, which one they talking about. I used to like, you know, just kind of like sit there in conversations, be like, yeah, man, she bad too. And then I used to say someone, I used to be like, yeah, man, she bad too, and get the response from everybody in the room. And that's how I would decide which, you know, model I was going to put on the flyers, because that's just what it was. You know what I mean? It was the whole thing. So I want to say it was always in me from that age. Outside of that, my mom had a daycare center she started becoming an entrepreneur. And so I started designing a lot of the visuals for it and various different things. So I would say that is like my first entry, honestly, into like marketing and advertising. And then I think things had hit me roughly around 2009. We all know that 2009 was just, you know, the state of the economy was very, very low. It's very tough to get a job. And it also was, you know, I think hard from an entrepreneur standpoint to start a business. So I went back to school and got my master's of fine arts degree in advertising and marketing, and was like, okay, how can I really try to now take what I do into the corporate world so much that my work and my portfolio of me being like an art director started by me showing creative directors club flyers.
Really? That's crazy.
I mean, it is art. It is art. It is art.
That's dope.
It is art. And it goes back to your point, just like, you know, knowing yourself and putting that work out there. I wasn't trying to create these campaigns or do these Coke ads or do these things for Google. I was just saying, these are my design skills. And I think any person that is truly a creative person is able to look beyond just like, I think, the context of the creativity and look at the creativity for like what it is and be like, man, this guy actually knows how to design. So that's how I was able to start getting jobs.
What do I say, Chad? Don't box into creativity. Don't box.
Well, hold on, though. I want to, you know, I like to backtrack because he says something that speaks on his mentality, right? So it started in 2008, right? 2008 is actually listed as a depressionary time for the United States itself, right? So that's the time that you're talking about. So it's hard to get a job. It's hard to do this. It's hard to do that. And you decide to put yourself back in debt. He said, I went back to school for a master's. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, most people come out of school in debt. So you're like, okay, I came out of school. I got a degree. We're in a depression. I'm not going to get a job. I'm going back to school to put myself back. I mean, that's a hell of a gamble. That's a hell of a gamble. It's a hell of a gamble. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is. But also at the same time, I think I knew the long-term goal of like what I wanted to do, because easily that money could have went to a new house. That money could have went to a new car. That money could have went to, you know, a vacation. But I understood the long-term goal. And that actually is probably, yes, while it is the largest investment, I don't want to be around the bush around that. School is no joke. Also, too, for those that are listening, they understand that those loan payments about to come back. So be in good shape. But I say all that to say it's the long-term investment of what you want to do. And look at that. Who knows, you know, repayment for so many people that may happen. But I was not going to sit there stagnant because I wasn't able to bet on myself and invest in myself. And that's what going back to school was.
That's a fact. And you know what's amazing about that? Because we talked to so many entrepreneurs that went back to school but didn't follow what they went to school for. And I'm pretty sure that's my chat. You know what I'm saying? But you were like, no, I'm going to do marketing and advertising. And how I'm going to bring that to the culture. And so you stuck to your plan. So that's what really is the real about that.
But what's your BA in? What's your BA in?
Graphic design with a minor in marketing.
Okay. So in the same realm. Absolutely. Same realm. The boy is focused. The boy is focused.
That's it, baby. That's it.
He's focused. So let's talk about this now, right? Okay. So you go back, you get the degree, you're doing the flyers, right? Me as a graphic design person myself, I can say that.
What you be designing? Let me know. What did you do the logo for the show?
No, I didn't do the logo for the show, but I do all the merchandise. I do all the merchandise, the thumbnails and the this and that. Yeah, I do all of that. Yeah.
I was like that. Like they have a very patriotic tone here. The red, white, I'm like, check them out. I was like, I like.
You want to tie it in to the culture.
Yeah, I was like, they are saying they love America in a certain way, or what?
Yeah.
But no,
well, again, just so you know, right? You know, colors play a part on a person's mental, right? Certain colors invoke certain things, right? So when you do the standard red, white, and blue colors, it does, without saying, into a form of being patriotic and patriotism, and it gives a tone of friendly, right? Very friendly, very oriented to something that you already know and love, right? So we're not going to say that we didn't know that. We're not going to say that. But I was saying, right, I want to give you props on that because in the culture that you're talking about, flyers, this was, remember now, this is before the internet is like the internet. Yes. If you wanted to know about the next hottest party, that 4x6 card was everything, right? Everything. And let me tell you something, right? You know, some of the hottest clubs in New York was the Tunnel and stuff back then, right? And we, Grant's Tomb. So you would have guys stand outside, right, with stacks, thousands of, and just as people are coming out, come to my next party, and you would get like a stack of 2-3 fly, and you kept those things because when you know what I mean, and you could tell who had quality and really had a good, like, you could fill your party just by the design of your flyer. If you had a phenomenal flyer where somebody's like, holy shit, this is a phenomenal flyer, your party was packed. If you had something that looked like you did it in Kinko's with a crayon, it was over. So shout out to you, because that was even
in itself, but see, like that even itself talks about that era, because you just mentioned Kinko's, right? But now it's FedEx Kinko's, right? But it was like Kinko's, but I'll never forget that. And then I started like realizing, through business, to your point, that stack, because I used to do it through 1-800 flyers. I used to
1-800 flyers.
You know what? Y'all already know what time it was.
That's a fact.
I started taxing on top of that, and I said, okay, well, now do you want me to do consulting? So, like I said, that was so pivotal for me. But also at the same time, I think understanding the quality of creativity that I still wanted to bring our culture in that rim was something that I still held to like the highest level. So when it came to the alphas on campus or the AKAs, and they, once it started getting to like the Greek organizations, it really starts to become a competition, to where I started being like, man, I'm sorry, but I'm booked. The Omegas got me. And they'd be like, man, you got an extra $500 we need. And I'm like, okay,
for the 5, I do.
Hey, right.
So that would you know what that means, right? That means at that time you was like, okay, not 8 hours of sleep. I might get 7.5. I might get 7.
Listen. I was really in my Urkel bag. I mean, I like to think I was the coolest nerd on campus, but like, I was making it do what it do. So man, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah,
that's fire, bro. And then so lead us up into how you got to corporate, how you transition from that, because you really honed your skills into that. Like you said, in 2009, you went back to school, you graduated. What was that first initial opportunity that you got after college?
Well, once again, I mean, that first initial opportunity was my own. That's when I started my business. It was called Jayadu Designs. And so that was really tapping into designing for small businesses as well as companies, barbershops, nail salons. Like I really tapped into like a lot of mom and pops, like, that wanted to do because I think it was easy. But I always knew that I wanted to reach more people. And that's what I've always been on, is like scaling, who I'm talking to, who I'm reaching. And so from there, after I graduated from graduate school, that's when I entered the advertising industry. So I spent roughly around 11 years in advertising, 12 years in advertising, kind of going from art director to senior art director to associate creative director to creative director, working on multiple different brands. But while I was there, I think that's when the turn, obviously, evolution of social media started happening, to where I felt like I was at the top of a hill, so often screaming to people about social media is important, screaming, very similar to like what we're in right now when it comes to AI, or what we were in, 2 to 3 years ago, which it sounds crazy to say 2 to 3 years ago, since 2020, but with, NFTs. So I realized that I needed to dive into working for, companies and brands that really valued, I think, social media and the impact of it. I think that progress has been made with a lot of agencies, and but I still don't know if they're thinking from a social first mindset, right? Because so much of advertising is traditional and it continues to be traditional. But what I realized by starting to look more into positions at tech companies, there was a lot more innovation that was happening with social media, whether that's emerging platforms such as Be Real, TikTok, or that's using traditional social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so forth.
Yep. Yeah. I want to ask you so much. Are you gonna say something, Chad?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying again, when we talk, we had other guests on the show that shows that mentally they were forward thinkers. It's already clear as day that you can see, that you can see what was coming, and you had the forward thinking knowledge to say, okay, I see it coming. Let me get ready for it. But not only let me get ready for it, let me, like you said, shout it to the masses to try to make sure that I can get as many people on this train as possible. It's very difficult to do that though. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I actually no, and actually what I tell you that I told them is I said, what you know about me, I seen it all.
I love him. I love him already. I love him already. You see, but see, that's what I'm saying, right? But this is what I'm saying, right? And I said it earlier about the personality, right? Your work ethic can be outstanding, but just look at your personality, right? You make it very easy for somebody to be very comfortable around you, right? And when somebody's comfortable around you, that's when they'll open up to you, and you know what I mean? And you can really get a sense of who you're working with, and they can let their guard down, and you can really get some things done. You know what I mean?
Yep. And so also that's what makes you a great interviewer as well, right?
That's a fact.
So one big question I always get, bro, because my thing I wanted to do with More Than a Title obviously was to talk to CEOs, entertainers, marketers, really get to know the person behind. Why did you make those decisions? How did you scale to your first million? Or did you sleep in I want to hear those type of stories, bro. So what was the idea or the concept behind Dose of Black Joy and Caffeine, and how do you get your guests? Because that's the biggest question I always get.
Okay. Yeah. The guests, honestly, they're all my friends.
That's what I tell them too.
Relationships.
That's what I tell
relationships.
Other way to say it, like it's
right.
Even when they come on, I have to kind of take a step back to not go into friend territory, right? Because I mean, while everyone naturally comes on the show to share gems, and I thank them so much because that's their time out of their heart. Some also do come on because there's something that they want to promote. Where it's like it's nothing wrong with that. Like promotion is promotion. I have the platform, and also let's share it because what you're promoting is amazing. But yeah, to take a step back, I felt like I was also at a point from a content standpoint. I've always been a content curator of like putting things out there, but with the Dose of Black Joy and Caffeine podcast, it was to be able to share these stories on an ongoing basis, use my platform in a way that I felt like was uplifting Black creators, marketers in the tech PR space, and be able to dive in deeper into their stories. Like, I think, a little bit of, I think our approach is very similar in terms of what we want to do. I think the messaging is a little different for sure, but at the end of the day, it's really being able to highlight Black people, humanize them, and also to have a very Black space. It's a Black podcast hosted by a Black man, Black topics, and that's just what it is. Now,
Hey, add one of those. Hold on. Let's talk about it.
You can't run past that. You're not gonna run past that. You're not gonna run past that.
You do it, bro. That's why.
I say it all the time. And I'm unapologetic. I'm unapologetic on this shit, right? Stop being afraid to express who and what you are. Stop being afraid to promote who and what you are, right? Because I feel like a lot of people want to say these things and be like, yo, this is a Black area. And they feel like, oh, but, other people are going to be like, but why does it have to be? Because this is what I am. And this is what my culture is. And I want to help promote it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So the message, right. So the message is the same. We are providing platforms to have necessary conversations so that information can get out there because the conversations need to be had. Plain and simple. It's the same message. It's the same message.
And I have to be honest, there have been those conversations for sure, even outside of that, where there have been other people that have said, well, can't you no, and I kid you not, this is gonna sound so bad, but this is the actual statement. I also love this person. So this person, I'm sure if you do follow me and you do hear this, know that I love you. And I thought that it was funny at the time. I get it, but they were just saying, can't you add a little cream to the
cream to the coffee?
Cream to the coffee.
You have my curiosity.
You know what I mean? And so I do think that he was being funny, which like, I totally get it. But, I mean, that's just, it's not, that's not the purpose, and it's not to even, it's just, I'm doing naturally what I feel is right. And hopefully making people better because of it.
That's dope, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We interview everybody. Our lineup is so diverse, but that's why I also love the show, right? I love what you've been able to accomplish with that, bro. Like, and what do you feel like? Actually, I'll ask you this because I'll give you one of my stories as well. What was one of your favorite interviews, or what is one of the biggest gems that you got? Because you got 100 episodes. I'm pretty sure you got some life-changing gems within these conversations. What was one of your favorites?
Oh man, geez. I mean, I've talked to a ton of people. I would have to say my favorite was Bozoma St. John. I think that was a strong.
And can you explain to the people, because some people don't know who she is, bro?
Yeah, 100%. And shout out to Boz. I mean, I think what I love about Bozoma St. John is that she has truly led and paved the way for what it takes to achieve excellent marketing while still authentically really being true to who you are. You know what I mean? And I think through the interview, she talks a lot about authenticity, also embracing who you are, how you show up, and all while still, honoring, her background of how she grew up, in West Africa and what that looked like to her. So I think that she was amazing.
Well, hold on.
I'm trying to think who else. I think Boz was amazing. We've also had Corey Hearn on the show, where I think that he did an amazing job of just talking about, being an executive and having to navigate through layoffs, which is something that we don't hear about, right? I think that a lot of people are on the receiving end of that, to where they have been laid off, or all that they know is that their senior vice president or CEO or their chief marketing officer has had to let them go. Even in those decisions, they're still not explaining that. But I think for him to be so vulnerable in his position, talk about how he had to do that at his time at Lyft and what that looked like behind the scenes, was a lot of information that is helpful in moments that you're just feeling like, well, they don't care about me, or this happened. It's like, no, this whole kind of is happening. So it's really, really exciting. I'll give a little exclusive. I do think that we have some exciting episodes.
Hold on, if you don't give us exclusive,
no. Line them up. Line them up. Exclusive.
Look,
you heard it here first.
I know. Look, also too, I'm trying. Consider this my audition to be the third person on this one too. If y'all ever need me, let me know. Trust me.
Done deal.
Let's done deal. Done deal.
I really am trying to sleep. No.
Done deal.
Done deal.
I'm joking, but no. With season 7 around the corner, I think that the number 7 is it is completion. For me, I'm not saying I'm ending the podcast by no means, but I do think that there are some very well-rounded episodes on season 7 of the podcast coming up. So too many to name, but I would have to say those are 2 that really stand out.
I'm gonna give you one that stood out from last season, bro. And it's the brother's book who you have behind you, Dr. Marcus Collins. My guy. So one story he told me was about the Steve Stout story, the translation. Did you tell you that on the interview?
No, I might have missed this. Yeah,
so it was
Dr. Marcus Collins.
And I won't go into the long story, bro, but basically he got a job at an agency, right? And Steve Stout wanted to hire him. He tried to get a job for him. He said he didn't take the meeting because he went to another spot. Steve Stout called the agency he was with, booked a meeting for them just to pitch them, to try to act like they was going to do work together, which was all like BS. He just wanted Marcus in the room. Right. All BS. Wanted Marcus in the room. He sent the pitch. Everybody's looking like, yeah, we're going to talk to you guys. We're going to send a follow-up. Hey, Marcus, let me talk to you. You always take the call, brother. You always take the call. You always take the meeting. You don't know what I was going to do. And And then a couple months later, they stayed in touch, and he ended up going to translation. We became an award-winning marketer.
Wow.
Wow.
So that was one crazy story. Shout out to my brother, Dr. Collins.
I just thought about it when you said that. When he talked about executives and talk about the layoffs. Remember, we talked to Veronique, and
Yes.
Veronique gave the story of when she had the opportunity, when times got hard and things slowed up with the company, if she was going to lay people off, or if she were going to keep the company, and what that would look like financially and stuff like that. So that was a phenomenal story too, because she chose not to lay people off. She said, if we're going to take a cut, we'll all take a cut from the top down. And I'm going to keep my staff, and I'm going to push through this thing. So I think, having that kind of conversation is dope. But sidebar on that, right? I hear all the inspiration. I hear about the mom and the pops thing, but I know it has to be somebody, right? Somebody outside the family that has had like a life-changing impact on you, whether you've met them or not, right? Maybe like you just follow their work, or you've heard a message, or you just seen them do something one time that has inspired you. Who's that for you?
I got to shout out, man, there's so many people that I can shout out. But I would say that God has played a huge role in my life. Just in terms of like, how I navigate. I always like to say, even in terms of like overall creativity, I think that is the greatest creator outside of anything. How I move, I think that prayer is crucial to going into a meeting or a pitch that is about to happen. But definitely faith has played a huge role in my life.
Okay,
absolutely, man.
And that's a common answer that you actually hear from a lot of celebrities that have climbed.
I mean, I'm a celebrity now. Hold on, Chad. I don't need people.
You are a celebrity. Nah, you are. No. We're not going to downplay it. We're not going to downplay it. We're not going to downplay. You can't. Again, get comfortable with your accolades. Get comfortable with your accolades.
What I will say is, walking the planet though. Tiffany R. Warren, the founder and creator of Ag Color.
Shout out to Tiffany.
I think Tiffany has done just an outstanding job of being at the forefront of diversity, equity, and inclusion while still, growing within her career and what she's doing and making a difference. She's also a dope creative, really, really strong creative.
Right.
I had the opportunity to actually work for her for like 5 years too. So, really kind of doing social media. So I think that, I would have to definitely say Tiffany. So shout out to Tiff if you are listening.
Shout out to Tiff. There it
is.
To
Ag Color for giving us a platform on that level, like straight up and down.
A fact.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I talk about it all the time.
I was gonna say, but now we're talking about social media, bro. Like, what are some exciting campaigns that you worked on in your career? What if you had to mention one, because you have a lot of accolades? What is one campaign that you worked on that you're super proud of, that maybe had a lot of obstacles? What is that one that you'd be willing to share with us?
I think it would have to be one that I just did not expect. I think that that's the beautiful thing about working in social, or even just social media in general, is when you're not expecting it and you go to sleep and it's like, whoa, what happened? And that would have to be when I was working at THX. So you mentioned THX earlier. That was founded by George Lucas. And for some people that aren't familiar with the company, you're probably familiar with the THX sound before a lot of Pixar films. So if you watch Pixar films,
the movies.
Yes. Yeah, the movies, period, right? Period. Anytime you heard that sound during a movie, you knew that movie's sound quality was going to be on 10, and you were excited about it. So something that I did there for the 35th anniversary of THX, I was kind of going through the archives because I'm like, there's so many things here. I mean, whether that's Star Wars. And so what I ended up coming across in the basement is the original music notes for that sound. And so the music notes outlined how that gradual pitch up was. So what we did was naturally just said, let's post this on social. That was even on Facebook. It was a simple post, but I think what we did in that moment was we exposed and we posted something which was behind the scenes content that a lot of individuals into audio and sound were super, super excited about. But the virality of that was just insane. I mean, individuals from Ava DuVernay, Jimmy Fallon, Elijah Woods, and these names, I'm mentioning them because they're also so random. But I say all that to say that, like, I think that there was something about nostalgia and that sound. So once we put that out there, what I followed up with was, it was called the Deep Note Challenge. And this was the days we had you put a name and a preference before every challenge. Ice bucket challenge, candy challenge, baba challenge, right? So it was really early. So I took that structure of the challenge, and then I had individuals and prompted individuals to record that sound using any instrument that they want. So now that everybody had the music notes, you could sing it. You could use your horn to do it. You could use straws to make the sound. You could use drums to make the sound. We had someone that made the sound through an electric kind of like keyboard there. But I say all that to say it's that virality, because once you have that moment, you want to try to also sustain the conversation as much as possible. But to date, I really love that, because I think that it was one, there was no budget involved, two, unexpected, but it was really, really, really based on community engagement. So that one is still close to my heart.
Great. Well, you ain't got to give us specific metrics. How did that perform? You ain't got to give us specifics. What was like from an engagement perspective, just so I can get a ballpark? Because I'm a social media guy, bro. Like with no budget, I gotta see. You know what I mean?
That was like in the 2 mil. Yeah, that was like in the 2 mil early day. And also, I'm just quoting. I may just be quoting Facebook only. At that, not even to mention Twitter, but whatever it was, trust me, I have a screenshot, and also too, it ended up on NBC News. So like from
wait a minute, time out. You said, hold on, I gotta go. Hold on though. You found it in the basement. You released. I hope you got this shit clear. That's intellectual. I hope you didn't. That's like a trademark. That sound.
He worked for the company. Yeah, it's
he worked for the company.
Oh no! I just want to. I understand. You can work for. That's like me working for Ferrari and then putting the design engine for the Ferrari. The 430 Marcella.
It was a social media campaign using that sound, so they was trying to elevate brand awareness.
I just want to make sure.
Legal gave that the green light, and they said thank you so much for
because
to his point. But Jay, listen. But to his point, though, it does bring up point, because I did have a lot of autonomy to that standpoint, to where I didn't have to go through that many chains of commands. And
that's what I'm saying.
I think that is what's also killing social media at the moment. Is
red
that
tape.
We have the red tape, we have the PR, we have comms, we have. I mean, you still want to have legal for sure, but there are too many comms related managers and executives in the process to where you just should let community managers run with it. And I think that's where some of the best brands are doing the best work, whether that's Wendy's, whether that's Duolingo. I think that's what's really happening. So, I mean, at the time, it was literally just me at that specific time. My team later on grew, but at that time, it wasn't that many people. So that red tape does, I think, kill virality of different campaigns and ideas. But that one was so much fun. I think the other things, had anywhere from 100K budgets to 1 mil budgets, and plus, but it's just like we paid to play, so I don't really get that excited about it.
No, you started from the ground level with that. You know what it reminds me of another story. I'm gonna send you the clip afterwards, bro. The Airbnb Beyonce story. Where basically was somebody we had, Eric Toda. Shout out to my guy Eric. He basically came in. It was a Super Bowl moment when she said Red Lobster. He said, "Yo, if they ever say our brand," he went the next day. He said, "If they ever say our brand, we got 5 minutes to respond." The next day they said some shit.
Oh yeah,
they had 5 minutes to respond, bro, and then they capitalized on it and ended up going crazy. So when you say that, it was like, yeah, that's fire, bro.
So I want to know, coming from humble beginnings, and obviously climbing the ladder, starting to feel your success, starting to feel like.
No, I'm not. That's the thing, Chad. I am not. I'm not.
Talk about it.
Come on.
I'm not
come
saying.
Come on now.
What? You
hold on. Listen. Listen. You are still a human being. You are still a human being, and you still have emotions, right? You started somewhere, and you are somewhere. There's no way you telling me you didn't have a mama I made it moment. There's no way you're gonna you can still be humble, but there's no way you're not gonna tell me you it was one point in your life, or at some success point when you looked at your mother, you call your mom and said, you know your son about the blah, blah, blah. It's no, come on now, talk to me.
Did the Super Bowl, mama turn the channel.
Right, exactly. Because again, it's not only for you, it's for your family. Right?
I've done the Super Bowl, and I have had that moment, but no, I think I just have a head down mentality. Maybe that will change, but I do come up to smell my roses for sure. You know, I certainly do appreciate it, but like I still don't see like my North Star of like what I want to do and also what I want to achieve. I also keep my cards very close.
Nothing wrong with that, brother.
Because I have been burned. So I can't share too much, but in terms of what I want to do, there's a bigger plan, to everything that I'm gonna work on.
But in the words of Pac, I would say keep your head up, brother. Like what you've accomplished, and when I get to chat, like it just had to be a moment because I've had moments like that. Like I was 26 years old in London, right, getting paid. I was one of the Con Line's first black employees. I was one of their first employees in New York, actually. So I'm being flown out back and forth, and I don't have a degree. I'm sitting there from the Bronx with the baggy pants and the Pradas and braids. You feel me? And I'm keeping it real.
Well, I remember when you called me and you told me, you was like, "Yo, they sending me to Paris, right? I'm going to Italy. You going?
I got a black card, and I got this, and I like.
He was like, and I don't gotta pay for it,
and I don't gotta pay for it. No, 5 years ago, I was working at BBQ, smelling like ribs. What are we doing?
I remember that call. I remember that call. My
story. So when Chad is saying it's like for the brothers that we talk to as well, right? The brothers from my neighborhood that they can't even fathom working on a Super Bowl. What was that one moment for you that was like, yo, bro, I really did it, and I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, got to be a moment. You got to give us one, bro. Got to give us one. I said two. You got to give us at least one, man.
Listen. I think that what I am working on and also what I am building, I'm really, really excited about it.
Okay.
If any moment I will say is, I think the success to date of the podcast has still been humbling because I'm blown away by the people that listen and the response and like everything that's taking place. So I would just have to say, to continue to be able to have a season of the podcast and have episodes, it still is humbling and a beautiful thing. And that's every single season. What I want to do and where I see the podcast though, still have a long ways to go with that, But to date, I would have to say a dose of Black Joy and Caffeine podcast. Since y'all got me up against the
and I'm gonna throw it out there. It's gonna be a dose of Black Joy and Caffeine more than a title collaboration. I'm throwing it out there. This ain't gonna be our first.
He's projecting. He's projecting.
I'm keeping it out there. I'm throwing it out there.
I love that.
So, okay. All right. And listen, I understand the humility. I understand the faith. I respect let's lighten it up a little bit, right? Pressure does bust pipes, right? You're a human being.
I didn't know. Wait. Wait. I didn't know it was heavy. When did it?
I was going to say the same.
No. I'm talking about lightening it up. Like, we're talking about the business and the success, right? Because I got to get to it because I'm looking for this answer. Like, so. You work and the faith and all that, but what does a dude like to do to relax? You got to give me something. Like you're working hard, you're focused, but you got to come up for air at some time. So what do you do to relax? What do you do?
Pause.
God.
You thought I was gonna go an episode without one?
Listen, hold on. I let him go with the cream on the corn. You pause. He's supposed to get the pause met. Cream on the corn. Hey yo.
I said that.
He's the cream on the coffee.
Use the cream in the coffee. Hey yo.
This is a mess.
But
this is a mess.
Like Jarrett, me and Jarrett are big like adrenaline guys, right? We go out, we get the jet skis. Jarrett, here, I'll tell you a funny story, right? To give you an example, right? So we're big fishing guys, right? Jarrett was just in Grenada, right? They must have fought like baby jaws because they fought a fish for 3 hours. No, seriously, like 3 hours. Wow. Him, my other cousin, his brother, his father, huh?
Bro.
I said, did you get it?
No.
They lost it.
And lost it. But wait a minute, though. The fish fought him, my cousin, his father, the first mate, the captain, everybody taking turns trying to reel this motherfucker fighting.
I'm on
live. He's trying to hold the phone at the same time. It's hilarious. So that's what I'm saying, right? So what do you like to do? And like, are you a book reader? Because I know a lot of my guys that read books, right? That's how they like to spend their dollars. What do you do in your downtime to just kind of relax? Yeah, you play ball or you're a sports guy or
I'm actually the complete opposite of like the adrenaline. Like I am a nature guy. Like I'm deep in the woods anytime. Like even even after this call, I'll text you all. Like I was just in Jamaica, but where I was staying in Jamaica, everyone was asking me like, what's the name of it? Which there was like this resort portion, but I found the most peace, like just in literally the jungle, of Jamaica. And I think it's just something about being close to nature, and it's to me the most amazing, creation. And I also too, I think a lot of that is because it's the one place that I could disconnect from what we do. I mean, even with all of us on this call, I think we have to be so closely tied to social media and digital naturally because of our lives, but also too when you are doing it from an extracurricular standpoint, shall I say, or as a hobby standpoint, even an additional business standpoint, that's also it. But when it comes to disconnecting and being in the jungle, also I scuba dive. So scuba diving.
There we go. That's what I'm talking. We scuba dive. Me and Jarrett scuba dive. Yeah.
Deep underwater. Now, what I will say is though, I am allergic to seafood. So this was new to me because naturally it's like, okay, I'm underwater. I didn't think I would have that type of impact. So it's hitting me a little differently these days. But being in water, being in the jungle, being like Mare Woods, part of the reason why I even live in California right now is to be closer to nature. I love nature, man.
That's dope, bro.
Have you been to Dubai opened up their deep dive pool? I'm dying to go.
Yes,
I was there. I was there right before they opened it, and they was like, "Oh, it's not completed yet," and we left, and they opened it, and I've just seen so many pictures. We gotta go.
I heard they got like a bar down there too. Like I heard that.
Oh, I've seen. I'm not gonna lie. Like, no, listen. I've seen guy was with a shopping cart and all that. No, it was crazy. No, it was.
And they also have like a fake car store down there. So like they have like these Cadillacs.
Yeah, it's big, man.
It is wild. But I have seen that. I've been eyeing it. I don't know if it's gonna be too commercial once I get there, but I mean, you know how Dubai is. But I love just being close to nature, respecting it, animals. I mean, I was talking to my nephew the other day just about all the animals that camouflage. So that's my way of like disconnecting and also too staying grounded as well.
Okay. Hey, that's a good answer. There's nothing wrong with wanting to disconnect from something that you're doing 90% of the time. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually refreshing, right? To put the phone down and do not disturb, and I can understand that.
That's it, man.
So what about family? I do. Family guy, you're thinking of settling down soon, kids? Talk to me about that. I mean,
more than a
talk
title.
to me, man. Listen, because at the end of the day, we're talking legacy. We're talking legacy, right? We're talking legacy. And I heard you say nephew, so
I said what?
I heard you say nephew. You were talking about your nephew, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely do love my family. I mean, I will say I did just get out of a relationship, so shout out to both of us. Hope she's doing well. I'm doing well. So we'll definitely see. But what I will say is that I do think that it is hard to think about navigating life, and even as you think about gradually attaining a certain level of success, to do that without partnership, because that balance and that companionship really does add a level to even remaining sane outside of the 9 to 5 and business and different things that you're doing. So I do think that that's important.
Important, bro.
It's crazy that he actually said that, because
that was real.
You will listen. No, that's real, because you'll listen to a lot of people, and the story that you'll get is that it destroys the relationship because you work so much. But you said it's more important to have the relationship because it gives you that support system to keep going. So, that's a dope answer right there. I love that answer.
Absolutely, because it's so much on our plate in the day to day that
it
is.
What
I'm saying, like, I don't want to have to think about what we're gonna have for dinner.
Yeah,
I don't want to think about that. What movie we watch? I don't want to think about that. You know what I'm saying?
And also too, it's you stepping back into reality, to be honest, right? Because the worlds that we all live in, the brands that we work for, none of that is real. Like it's real in the sense of like what's happening and also what we're focusing on, but there's an end goal, right? There's a margin that we're trying to do. There is a sale that we're trying to make. There is a level of persuasion, I think, that we're trying to do. But when you're able to go home to your spouse or to your companion,
significant other,
your significant other. There's nothing that comes close to that reality of just stepping away from all that in order to really be fueled and work towards legacy. So yeah, man, we'll see.
This guy has all the good answers.
I'm saying, motherfucker, you got me missing my baby. I'm about to call my ass.
First of all, he said, shout out to her. So, again, like this guy, like, shout out to her. So, shout out to both of us. Shit, that was crazy. Who's your publicist? Who's your publicist? I want to meet her right now. After this show, we're going to talk to her publicist, his publicist right now. He was ready for this goddamn call. He can't tell him. Shout out to both of us. We ended very amicably, and
but
it's dope. It's dope.
Listen,
it really is dope, though.
There's there's no media training. It's just like that.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I just think that I want everybody to be good, and if that doesn't work, then it just doesn't work. You want everybody to be good. So that's it. But y'all are funny, man. I love it.
Yo, bro. I know we exactly on the hour, bro.
On the hour.
Bro, I just want to tell you right now to your face again, bro. For those listening, this is my first time meeting the dude. So I'm gonna tell you right now, like for people listening to really how important this is for me. Anybody who's moving on LinkedIn that's a Black creator, I know, and I make sure to know. And I make sure to reach out, or vice versa, bro. And when I seen you doing what you do, I knew I was going to have you on the show. I knew I was going to reach out, bro. And I just want to tell you right now, bro, thank you for coming to the platform. Thank you for sharing your gems. Thank you for sharing your story. What you've been able to accomplish needs to be told, bro. And sometimes, like, I love your humility, bro, but I would love for you to flex, bro, because I know how difficult it is to get there. I'll flex for you.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
I'll flex for you.
But listen, let me tell you something. That's what I was going to jump in and say.
Yeah, New York, right?
Yes, yeah, we in New York. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. I mean, yeah, because honestly, like this is crazy, but I've never popped bottles.
Really? Oh, now it's over. So listen. I'll tell you right now. No. I'm telling you right now. When you come to New York, we get in the content. We pop in the bottles with a dude. That's all we do. That's what we do in New York. If we go to let me tell you something. It's almost like taboo. I feel offended if I gotta wait in line at a bar for a drink. I feel offended. Like, you want me to wait in line for a drink? Yeah, I feel offended. But let me tell you though, what I wanted to say is, believe Jarrett, right? When we talk about the sincerity, because when I've throughout this interview, I've heard the sincerity in your voice, right? And I just want to tell you something. Even before you came on the show, me and Jarrett have many conversations about you. When he tells you that he will champion for you, that's because he's already been championing for you without you knowing it. Because he feels that strongly about the culture, and he feels that strongly about people moving the culture forward. He's not telling you no lie. He's not sitting up here trying to, spread, give you a bunch of bullshit for the ratings. He's telling you the truth. What he said to you is what he's already been saying, and he's going to say it to anybody that he feels needs to hear it. And that's the important part to it. You know what I mean?
Fact,
so
we got it out. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Like I told you earlier, we got it out the mud, bro, from the Bronx. I didn't know. I was in an agency selling SEO services, and I'm talking to Detavio. I'm talking to James Lindsay, CEO of Rap Snacks. I'm talking to Solomon Choi, owner of 16 Handles, bro. And then I started to realize the value of the brand, the value of the relationships. I remember in sales, bro, they talk about a black book. I needed those relationships, and I wanted to scale me because I know my heart. I know what I know. And I want to scale me. If I just talk to you on the phone, I don't close the deal, that doesn't scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what social media. So social media changed my life, bro. And I want to help others change their life that look like us. And so for you to do that and you doing what you're doing, and then we have the same circle, bro. I'm doing this from a couch sitting Indian style in the Bronx. Jabari, JD, Kofi, Bose, I would love to holler at y'all, but these are the people that I've been able to meet, bro. So for me, coming from the Bronx, that shit mean a lot to me, bro.
See, so what do we talk about the inspiration that you can have without even meeting somebody? See, I just met today, and you have had a big impact on his life before even meeting him. So he's a living testament to what I said to you earlier.
Born in Queens. I don't think I mentioned that, but I was born in Queens, Jamaica.
Oh, no, you didn't say you was Jamaica. Oh, man. Southside? 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 Southside.
Moved very, when I was young. I definitely, like I said, out the mud, I think that gets missed, especially when you see such large platforms. So I appreciate y'all coming on, man. I'm gonna stay in contact. I can't wait to
let them know. Let them know where to find you at. Let them know where they can find you.
Please. And the next episode.
Y'all let me know when the next family reunion is. What you mean?
No, I'm talking about the people listening. Let them know if anybody that wants to reach out to you and follow your story. Where can they find you?
I'm trying to get a plate at the cookout, but no. My name is Dose of Black Joy, and that's across all platforms. So whether you are on Instagram, or Twitter X, Threads, but yeah, Dose of Black Joy, BLK. And then when it comes to a Dose of Black Joy podcast, you can listen to that across all streaming platforms. So check us out, please. Season 7.
and I'm letting you know now. Even if you give up the podcast, I think you got too much knowledge not to spread. No, I'm serious. You got too much knowledge not to spread. So we're definitely gonna do something.
Pause.
I said pause. I can't do nothing.
I'm sorry. That was mad funny to end off. That was mad funny. My fault. My bad.
I was saying you got a lot of knowledge, and we definitely want to get it out there. So definitely we're gonna do something special, like a special. I'm scared to say anything now because he's gonna attack me.
Can we? This is good.
Thanks for showing up,
bro. Just give us 1 second. I want to get your number real quick before we end off. But for everybody listening, thank you again for another episode of More Than a Title. Labor Day.
Yes, sir.
Got from my expert opinion pulling up to the show. It's gonna be epic. Man. We moving out here, y'all. We moving. And it's inspirational, baby. I do, my guy. Appreciate you. Let's get him, baby.
What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I've done it all. Just one.